Everybody, thanks for joining us. I want to thank Chief Bryant and Division of Police, Chief Happ and the Division of Fire, and thank you all for joining us. As we approach the 4th of July, we're once again preparing to celebrate our city's biggest event of the year. Red, White, and Boom is back on July 3rd, and the City of Columbus, including CPD, the Division of Fire, our law enforcement partners across the region, are working hard to make sure that you and your families have a safe and healthy holiday celebration. We're all hands on deck here at the city because your safety is our top priority. Know that we're being proactive and purposeful on a variety of fronts: neighborhood safety, traffic management, and roadway closures, youth engagement, fire safety, heat safety, and more. That's why you see both the divisions of police and fire here with me today. CPD is ramping up enforcement and surveillance across our city, and Chief Bryant will tell you more about these efforts in just a few moments. Meanwhile, the Division of Fire, as you might expect, is stepping up their operations as well, with public education campaigns surrounding fireworks safety. We're tearing down silos and teaming up together to make sure that everyone in our city and in every neighborhood have a safe and happy 4th of July. To talk more about what our officers are doing to keep families safe at Boom and beyond, it's my pleasure to introduce our Chief Bryant.
Good morning. Thank you, Mayor Ginther. So this is my second Boom, so I'm really excited. So what I saw last year was amazing, and looking forward to the celebrations. As with every major event that comes to Columbus, we have a security in place to ensure that everyone has a safe and enjoyable time. Officers will be on foot, on bicycles, horses, and in cruisers. Plainclothes officers will be positioned throughout the city and downtown. First shift and third shift officers will patrol the neighborhoods, and that's important because our calls for services are a priority to us as well, and we will make sure that we continue to answer those calls for service. Mobile cameras will be placed throughout the downtown area, and our watchtowers will be up as well. Prohibited items. We're asking everyone to leave their valuables and weapons at home to ensure everyone has a great time. Drones are prohibited for use in the downtown area, and coolers are allowed. We're asking, if you're going to bring a cooler, to put your name and your phone number on the front of the cooler, because unattended coolers will be confiscated. So we're asking that you do that so that we have the ability to maybe be able to track you down before we do that. Missing children. I want to take a moment to talk about missing children. It's really important that we try to head off having children that get lost. We know that it's going to be chaotic down there. We know it's going to be a lot of people. So if you have an opportunity, take a picture of your child with the outfit that they're wearing on that actual day, so that we'll be able to, if the child does come up missing, know exactly what they're wearing in real time. We're asking that you visit one of our 5 missing children booths. We'll be able to give you those locations later about where they will be located. If you go there, you'll receive a bracelet for your child. You can complete a registration form, and that will help us in reconnecting missing children a little faster. We're also going to have a youth zone this year. We had one last year, and the whole point of our youth zone is twofold. It's to obviously give the children something to do before the actual event, the fireworks take off, but it's also an opportunity to have our youth engage with our first responders. So we'll be there along with Chief Happ and some of his firefighters, his first responders. So it's an opportunity for the children to engage with us. Lastly, we're asking for everyone's patience while driving in. It's going to be crowded. We know it's going to be crowded. We're asking you to be patient. We're partnering with our partners, our Ohio State Patrol. They're helping us out. They're going to be manning our freeways. Everyone knows you're not supposed to stop on the freeway when you watch the fireworks. Please don't do that. That's a safety hazard. We want you to wait a little while when the fireworks are over to leave, and be patient. It's going to take a while for everyone to get out, but we will make sure that you get home. So at this time, I'm going to bring Chief Happ up to talk a little bit more about the safety aspect.
Thank you, Chief Bryant. Mayor, thank you. I'm always happy to stand with our mayor and our partners in public safety especially when we can share information that will help keep our residents safe. Like Columbus Police, the Division of Fire has a safety plan in place to protect everyone coming down to Red, White, and Boom. That includes fire prevention, inspectors evaluating and inspecting the fireworks launch zones. We'll also have engines and personnel out there ready to protect the area around the fireworks display, and multiple EMS units throughout the event area to help with any medical situations that might arise. We're just as excited as everyone else to celebrate our nation's independence, but we know this holiday brings with some risk, and we want to be aware of it and prepared for it. Columbus law differs from the state law when it comes to consumer-grade fireworks. Here is what is allowed. We call them the 5 S's: sparklers, smokes, also known as smoke bombs, snaps, snakes, and sparkling fountains. What is not allowed in the city of Columbus is anything that's shot up in the air, anything that explodes, anything in the air or the ground that explodes is not allowed. Anything that is self-propelled, for example, jumping jacks, are not allowed in the city of Columbus. These laws are in place to protect you, your family, and your property. Every year around the country, accidental fires and injuries are caused by fireworks. The density of our population and neighborhoods lends itself to these very real dangers if using fireworks improperly. We want everyone to have fun, but we want you to do it safely. Columbus spends a great deal of time and resources to provide a wonderful downtown experience during Red, White, and Boom. We ask all of you to join us in keeping this safe, family-friendly celebration that's been for so many years. Thank you.
Thanks, Chief. Thank you, Chief Happ, and thanks again to Chief Bryant and all our officers and first responders for going above and beyond during this busy time. If you don't understand or grasp the importance of fireworks and fire safety around this time of year, I'd encourage you to talk to an ER doctor or nurse who sees young people and people injured by fireworks that, again, are illegal in the city of Columbus and not permitted. It can be pretty devastating if you hear some of those stories of what those doctors and nurses see around this time of year. Really important to do everything in our power to protect our kids, our families, our neighborhoods. Bear in mind, this is a community lift. This isn't just on the fire chief and the police chief. We need all of you to step up as well. I've said it before and I'll keep saying it. Leave your guns at home and lock them up. And while you're at it, lock up the ammunition. We got a gun problem in this country, and far too often teens and kids are getting their hands on weapons that they never should have been able to access in the first place. Parents, we need you to keep tabs on your teens and the youth in your lives. Know where they are, know who they're with. Set a curfew in your home and enforce it. We're doing everything within our power here at the city to promote safety and security, but we can't be a parent to every kid in the city of Columbus. When you aren't around or you're spread too thin, lean on your support systems, your family, your neighbors, your friends, to be there for your kids when you are otherwise need to be at 10 places at once. And folks, remember to keep an eye on the forecast, to be mindful of the heat and humidity. Like everything else, our focus on Boom is comprehensive. It's collaborative, it's ever evolving to address the facts and the reality on the ground as they unfold. We'll remain in contact in the coming days to share any important updates, traffic, and safety notices, and all you need to know to make the most of your holiday festivities. We'd be happy to take any questions from you all.
We've heard from people, I'm not going to go to Red, White, and Boom, I'm afraid of getting shot, or I don't want to be in a large crowd, I'm afraid of getting shot. What do you all have to say to those people who are making these comments to assure them, if you do go to Red, White, and Boom, you will be safe?
Yeah, I think it's really important to look at the facts and look at the record. I mean, you know, obviously Boom has been a great, safe, family-friendly event for years. Last year, For the first time in a couple of years, we brought it back. It was safe. It was great. I'm really proud. I don't think the Division of Fire and Police have ever worked closer together than they are now. And that gets, that starts at the top, the way Chief Bryant and Chief Happ respect and work and collaborate with each other. And I'm really proud of that because it makes us all safer and stronger. I think, the number of events we've already had this summer. I think the Division of Police and Fire have done an outstanding job when we have the largest Pride Parade in the Midwest, and 700,000 people came to that event. Obviously we've already had a very safe and successful arts festival, concerts downtown. Downtown is safe, and it's because of our police officers, our firefighters, but also the community looking out for one another. If you see something, say something, sharing information with police. That's why we have the incredible closure rates, great police work, but community offering up tips and information. So, we think that Boom is going to be another great success story, and one that's safe that you can bring your family to.
On Memorial Day weekend, we had the issues with the street takeovers. There's some shootings. And there's also already seeing things on social media about something like that. This weekend, these same kind of plans. What are the plans that Police Division has to monitor that in light of Red, White, and Boom going on at the same time? You've got two things going on at the same time.
Yeah, I'll let the chief speak to that because she made a critically important point. We are focused on Red, White, and Boom, but we're still going to be responding to calls for service in every neighborhood throughout the city, and that's going to remain a top priority as well. She was just sharing some really exciting statistics on some of the work with Operation Burnout, some of the other efforts of the Division of Police that's making some great headway on getting, some of the most violent criminals off the street. Chief, you want to speak to anything?
Yes. Thank you. That is important for us, and I think it should be noted, just like the mayor said, we look at all the events that are occurring across the city, and we have to make sure that we have plans in place to address any concerns or issues. We had a great Pride, and the reason we had a great Pride is because of not just the work of the men and women in blue, not just the work of our first responders, but the community as well. They step up. They want to make sure that everything is safe. They share information. So you see the work that's happening in the front from an enforcement standpoint, but you don't know the things that are going on behind the scenes with our intelligence units and the information that we're getting to make sure that we are strategically looking at the things that are going to occur and trying to prevent them before they even happen. We have operations in place to address some of those concerns. We've actually started working on our Operation Turn Up the Heat, and I could just share a couple of stats for you. So far, we've already had 17 felony arrests. We've served 45 writs. We've had one firearm recovered so far. We've had over 114 grams of cocaine, heroin, fentanyl. We've seized cash. So we're doing the work, and we're preparing not just for Red, White, and Boom, for the summer, for the residents, for their quality of life across the city in general. Operation Burnouts, we've been doing that. How long have we been doing that, Bacher?
Several weeks.
So Operation Burnout has been in effect for a while, and we've been pretty much in every single zone in this city to address the concern of the takeovers. And we've actually had some really good success with that. We've been working with the city attorney's office as well to ensure that when we make these arrests, that they're not just let go. We want to make sure that these charges are sticking. We want to make sure that we're making making progress and making sure that people understand that we're not just going to stand for you coming to do these activities in our city. So we've been working with them, and we've actually had some success where they've actually put on social media themselves, it's hot. Stay out of Columbus, stay out the city, it's hot. So while you're seeing these incidents pop up, we're addressing them in real time, and our intelligence units, they're getting information and passing them on to our people, and we're addressing it as it's happening, which is why you've seen some of the success that you've seen.
How will it be on Monday with resources focused on Red, White, and Boom and these things happening on
We
other parts of
have
the
resources everywhere on Monday. When I tell you that we're prepared for Monday, we have our resources for Red, White, and Boom, but we also, like I said, we know how important our calls for service and our officers are in neighborhoods. So we've addressed that across the board. our officers, they really stepped up and they want to make sure, when they took that oath to be a law enforcement officer to protect and serve, they took that really seriously. So a lot of them, they will be enforcing the laws. They won't be down here enjoying the fireworks with their families. They'll be making sure that you can enjoy it with yours.
On Wednesday night, there was a shooting. 2 teens were shot in the same area where everybody's going to be for Red, White, and Boom. With what happened on Wednesday night, any changes in the security plan, any additions?
No, the security plan is a very good security plan. I will bring Command Dinner up to talk a little bit about the shooting. What I will say is this, we've determined so far that this was not just some random act of violence. So we are always addressing those concerns, but I'll let him come up and give you a little information.
Steve, did you have a specific question about the actual incident or just in general?
Is there an update into the incident, a arrest, a description? I mean, there were cameras there I saw beside Bicentennial Park. Anything pick up that you could provide us to get it out there?
Yeah, so we always try to be strategic with our investigations, and right now the detectives are trying to locate the cameras and try to find the right parts and see what we can put out. And as soon as we have that information, I'll make sure that we get with you guys and we can put that out and see if we can't, as the mayor was saying, have that support and have that help from the community. It takes all of us, the detectives and the community, so we will do that as well. I'll support what the chief said. Preliminary right now, the details do not indicate that this was some type of random act. And, we ask, these parents to keep an eye on their kids, have that there's got to be a responsible individual there. We got to have individual accountability. All that plays into factors. So that's what we're asking for. But I'll commit to you that our detectives are working around the clock. They're doing a great job, and it shows through their efforts, through the statistics.
Along those lines, if teens do start acting up at Red, White, and Boom, start causing violence, how do you plan to handle that? Any differently than you would an adult? Some of these teens are proving to be very violent recently.
Chief, for you.
Yeah. We are going to handle it the same way that we would when anyone is in danger from an act of violence. So we're going to do our part to ensure that we address that concern immediately. We'll be working with our partners as well, the justice system, obviously, with the courts, with the prosecutors, for that message, to make sure that they understand that how important it is. It's not about necessarily the age of that person, it's about the act that they're committing. So if there is a threat to anyone, we want to make sure that we address that immediately.
And what do you want to say to families who were planning to come down? You're sending the message out that it's safe, but then, Wednesday night there was this shooting, and now families are maybe thinking, well, I don't know if I want to go. We were saying earlier, it may not be safe.
I want to encourage people to come down and have a good time. We had a great Red, White, and Boom last year. We had a great Pride. We had a great Juneteenth celebration. We had a great ComFest. We had a great marathon. We have some really great events. I don't want people to get caught up on a particular incident, but rest assured that we're doing everything we can to make sure that it's going to be a very safe event. And so that's the message. The message is come down, enjoy yourselves, enjoy your family, and let us worry about that. We got this.
What's your message for community members who time and time again hear that, it appears that this shooting was not a random act of violence, yet there doesn't seem to be an arrest following that? What's your message for community members who may be thinking, well, if it's not a random act of violence, why aren't we seeing anything done to stop this or any accountability for this particular incident?
We have a 94% closure rate in regards to our homicides. We've closed 71 cases so far this year.
75 out of
75. So we're doing a really good job in the accountability part. Unfortunately, it takes a lot. It's not just a matter of, I know you did this, we're going to arrest you. Sometimes it takes time, and people need to be patient. A lot of investigations, they're not like you see on TV. It's not a 24-hour or 1-hour incident. Sometimes it takes time to build cases and to be able to get that conviction and that closure for that family. But our detectives work relentlessly around the clock to ensure that we're addressing that. And not only that, from an enforcement standpoint, but from a prevention and a proactive standpoint, we're working with Molly from the Columbus Violence Reduction. We're also working with Director Shack in regards to youth, the prevention. So there are things that are happening behind the scenes that you may not necessarily see all the time or hear about that we're addressing to ensure that we are trying to get the shooters to stop way ahead of time. We're trying to get them resources so that they can become productive citizens in our city.
I
So,
think, Chief, you're absolutely spot on. I think one of the things, as we dance here, the comprehensive approach is prevention, intervention, and enforcement. And I think many of you have already reported on our first call-in that we shared with you all around Columbus violence reduction, part of that group violence intervention effort that we've been working with renowned criminologist David Kennedy on, and all the stats play it out. I mean, there are fewer than 500 folks in a city of nearly 1 million people that are committing 50% of the violence, and oftentimes it's a tit for tat retaliatory effect. And so that effort is really focused on those individuals, and we're starting to make some headway there. I think this week we had targeted 40. We had 20 folks commit and 17 show up. So we're making progress there, but that's going to continue to be a focus of ours moving forward, because we're not going to let a very small group of people drive violence in our city. So we're going to give them options, but if they don't choose to change their life and choose a different lifestyle and put the guns down, we're going to put the city, county, state, federal prosecutors on them and get them off our streets.
Can the fire chief talk about, you mentioned earlier about the families who want to have their own red, white, and boom in their own backyard? What's the message you want to send to them?
Thank you for that. Thanks for inviting me to the podium to talk. I'm glad to answer that. So, yeah, so to all of our neighborhoods that are out there that have bought in fireworks, they're still not allowed in the city of Columbus. You know, that we do. So be very careful. What we have found over the years is when we go out to the neighborhoods, we see young kids setting off fireworks, you know, and adults are standing right by. That is absolutely not safe. We highly do not recommend it. We recommend you coming down here and enjoying Red, White, and Boom with us. So safety is always imperative, but it gets back to what the mayor and Chief Bryant said is family members, take care of your kids and make sure that they're being safe.
Chief Happ,
Yes.
do you have any advice for people who are there watching the show to not add fuel to the fire while this giant fireworks show is going off? What advice do you have?
Yeah, so just keep your own personal fireworks to yourself. Keep them for when you go out of town and you go someplace else on vacation. But they're just not allowed in the city of Columbus. And if what happens, that distracts our efforts to what we need to be, you know, focused on by heading out. We will have teams that are teamed up for around the city to respond on events like this, to shut down any fireworks and confiscate fireworks that go on in the city of Columbus. So.
I have a question. That Red, White, and Boom night is a busy night for 911 operators, and people will be setting off fireworks. Do you encourage people to call in with every time there's a report of a firework, or how do you handle that?
Absolutely.
How would you like to handle it?
Great question. Over the years, we've had numerous people calling in to our alarm office. We have asked the dispatchers to send them over to fire. Then we take that call, we analyze it, and then we get the proper people out there to go investigate. And that's our teams that will go out and shut it down, whether it be a fire truck or actually some of our fire investigative team. So.
Given the air quality issues, anything you can answer, so given the air quality issues recently, one, are there worries that viewing may be disrupted at this event this weekend because of, well, next week because of that? And two, is there any messaging going out to viewers about maybe wearing gear to protect themselves in a way like an N95 mask or something to keep particles out?
Chief?
Well, we obviously we've been following that closely as well because we're concerned just like everyone else. I think the reports are showing that the air is going to be fair on Monday, so hopefully that doesn't change. But anyone that has any concerns or any health issues, if you're coming down, wear your mask. It's it's really that simple. Just wear your mask, and protect yourself. But the reports that we're getting so far, it looks like it's going to be clearing up and it should be fair.
Can you tell us, Operation Moonlight, those officers, will they be placed in the neighborhoods? Will they be placed downtown? How's that?
Operation Moonlight is Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's Monday.
That's good. Well, will they be used? I mean, obviously, you're going to have a lot of people downtown.
Those officers have regular assignments, so those officers will be doing whatever they're scheduled to do. Some of them work first shift, third shift, second shift. Some of them will be assigned to the fireworks based on where they work. Some of them will be in the detective unit. Wherever their regular assignments are, they'll be contributing in that way.
Yeah, virtually anybody who wears either of these uniforms is going to be working somewhere in the city of Columbus on Red, White, and Boom. Any other questions? Thanks, everybody. Have a great day. Happy Boom.